Hey guys, are you constantly drained by the people that are in your lives and feel like they are just sucking the life out of you and are so much work? Trust me, I understand that as an empath. And in this video, I am going to share my two biggest tips for you to finally be free of those toxic relationships. Stick around. My name is Ella, and I help empaths to recover from toxic relationships and negative attachments by heart healing, self-love, and setting healthy boundaries so that you can take back your power, uncover your soul message, and live a magical life that you deserve. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Here is the best tip that I have for navigating addictions to toxic love and how to get free from them. Okay, and hopefully this should really empower you to take action, because for me, this was the key to getting out of some of my toxic relationships. And as an empath or a codependent, here is the key, is that you have to allow this treatment. So you have the power to stop it at any time. And trust me, I know how scary that sounds. Like, I will tell you my story of my sister and the toxic, unhealthy relationship that we had. And there's two reasons why I have accepted this abuse my entire life from her. Is one, obviously I didn't feel worthy enough to stand up for myself, but this social conditioning, this horrific lie that you have to be there for family no matter what. And let me tell you, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Because what that lie held me in, as many times as I wanted to say enough is enough, my mind would say, but that's your sister. How could you do that to your little sister? How could you just abandon her? Okay? The mind is a tricky thing, and the mind does not want you free. The mind, your subconscious, wants to keep you safe, okay? Safe from trauma, and it will do anything to avoid fear and what feels like danger, okay? So for me, what felt like danger would be to stand up to her, would be to stand up and say, no more. I don't accept this behavior, and I love myself enough to never allow anyone to treat me like this, to never say those words that you say to me ever again. But that fear of that voice in my head that told me, well, you can't do that. You know, she's your sister. What will other people say about you? You know, they're gonna come at you and say that's not right. And all this crap held me in abuse for years and years. And what I want to say about it is, nobody has the right to treat you like crap ever. No one has the right to call you names. Nobody has the right to threaten and control you by fear or manipulation, or smear campaigning you by going and telling everyone lies about you. Nobody has that right. Do they do it? Yes. Is that okay? No. And it is our job. This is part of the lesson that we have to learn as either empaths or codependents, that we have to hold them accountable for their behavior. It's just like a child. You know, God says, I discipline the ones that I love. That means I love you enough to tell you that your behavior is not okay. and I'm not going to accept it anymore. So that's where the empowerment should come from. The fear around it is just that. It's fear. Another universal law is, when you speak out your boundary to another person and you say, no, that's not okay with me, and I no longer accept this behavior, I'm done with this, then they have to adhere to that. They could try to make you afraid, to make you step out of alignment with what you say. See, integrity is just this. Your yeses, make your yeses be yes and your no's be no. That is the key. Now, when you say, here's my boundary. My boundary is, you're not allowed to call me and harass me anymore. And if you do so, here's the consequence. Or, you no longer are welcome at my house, and I will not have a relationship with you any longer because it is unhealthy and I love myself more than this. Thank you for respecting my boundaries. They will try to get you to come out of alignment with that, to where you don't stand by what you said. If you come out of alignment, that gives them the right to go ahead and continue to harass and put fear and manipulate you. But when you don't, when you just stand there and go, no, and you don't react to the emotional, because they're going to try and trigger you to get an emotional response out of you any way they can, by lying about you, by telling people, you're sick, by telling people you're crazy, by telling people that you're on drugs, by telling people that you're mentally ill. Yes, she's done all of that to me. She has called people and told them that I'm a horrible mother, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. However, when I don't react to that by calling her and being like, what are you doing? How could you be doing that to me? Stop doing that on social media. La, 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 la. Because listen, I know who I am. And you can say whatever you want to say, but that's not the truth. And I know that. So I'm not worried about it. But when I don't react and then I respond with my boundary, again, that's not okay with me. Do not contact me anymore, whatever it is. If you may need to repeat your boundary multiple times, but that's okay because it will eventually stop. You just have to stick with the boundary and don't come from a place of anger and give a reaction or anything like that. It's hard at first because you're used to this trauma response where they trigger you and you react. So it's just coming to that awareness of not doing that. So you have the power to stop this at any time. Like I said, they will try to intimidate you with threats, lies, and fear, but all you have to say is, no, thank you. And sometimes that means just not saying anything. Sometimes that means repeating the boundary. The only way that they can continue to keep up with this behavior is if you hide in fear or you do nothing. And so that gives them right to go ahead and continue doing it. You have to stick to your boundaries and repeat it multiple times if necessary. So here is a tip to see if you have an unhealthy relationship, okay? This is just an example of an unequal exchange of energy. So for the last 3 years, I have bought my sister a birthday present and sent it to her and, sent thoughtful things. And, for the last 3 years, she has not even called me. So, unequal exchange of energy? I think so. Why? Because she knows that would hurt me, right? I've sent her gifts. She doesn't send me anything. What would that make you want to do? Call her and be like, hey, what's going on, man? You didn't even call me for my birthday. Why would you do that? Yeah, there's the trigger right there. There's the argument. There's the fight. There's the power they need. They need that. They have an addiction just as much as I have an addiction to this relationship. You see? There's no different here. There's no good or bad. I'm addicted to this relationship just as much as she is. But it takes that one person to cut it off. So I'm going to go a little bit more into my story because I do want to be vulnerable with you guys, and I hope that you understand where I'm coming from with this. That so 3 weeks ago, I had come to the realization that I had an unequal exchange of energy with my sister. And I kindly text her and I said, you know, thank you so much for the lessons that I have learned. You have really taught me to love myself. But in that process, I have come to respect myself enough to not allow you to treat me the way you do anymore. And I'm done with our relationship. I wish you the best. Thank you for respecting me and my boundaries. So I know how it was going to go down because I've tried to get out of this a few times. And I just had to block her from everything because I knew that it would be a tirade of text messages and everything to try to get an emotional response out of me, right? So the best thing for me in this situation was to completely block the relationship. I said what I needed to say. I said, thank you, and I said that it's enough and I'm really done with it. So then my son started getting multiple calls from her, and he did not have his phone because of a behavioral issue. And she started freaking out about it, that he wasn't answering her. And she started getting very angry at him. Why aren't you answering my phone calls? Why? And this is a little boy, How come you're not answering my phone calls? That's not right, blah, blah, blah. So we caretake for my cousin who's had a stroke. And so then she proceeded to call him. And I don't know if you know what flying monkeys is, but basically that's where they will get someone else who they can feed off of to get this power struggle source thing from, and try to manipulate them to get you to drop your boundaries. Okay? So that's exactly what happened in this situation. I had my cousin who's telling me that what I'm doing is not right, that I should be letting her talk to my son and blah, blah, blah. And I set another boundary. I said, no, I'm not, because see, the intention there is not about her calling my son to talk to him. The intention is to emotionally get a response out of me. And I'm not doing that. See, people around you may not understand why you have to do what you have to do. And that's why it's hard to navigate. But listen, I'm here to support you because I'm still going through the thick of it. And I just want you to know that if you are in any situation like this, I'm absolutely here to support you and hear you and encourage you that if I can do this, if I can be strong enough to stand and just say no, so can you. And I will tell you, you've never felt better in your entire life. I said no, that she would not be talking to my kids right now because of the intention behind it, okay? She lives in Oregon. I live in Southern California. 2 days later, my cousin gets a phone call that she's in town and she wants to see my kids. I mean, it's like... So I had a trauma response to that. I started to panic and the fear that was coming over me. And so I calmed my mind and I said, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to calm myself and go into like a meditation. So I did that, and it really came to me exactly what I needed to do. And that was, no one asked me if it was okay that she come over and see my kids. Nobody asked me. So I called and I texted and I said, you know, this is not okay with me. You didn't ask me, and I'm saying no. We had plans already to go to the beach. And so, you know, her thing was, well, I want to see my cousin and blah, blah. I said, no problem. These are the hours that will be gone. You can see him between this time and this time. Please respect those boundaries. And so we went and had our fun day, and she did respect the boundaries. But she came here and she used that as an opportunity to smear me to my cousin, you know, just say horrible things about me, lies, and gossip. And then she had left, and then she continued to text my cousin after that and keep pressuring him as to why I'm not letting my son call her. And the pressure got a little bit worse from him. And I was aware of this because I have been studying this relationship, this unhealthy relationship between empath, energy vampire, narcissist, codependent. So I've really been studying this, and I knew what was kind of coming was that the syndrome of flying monkeys, they will start using other people to kind of attack you and come at you to say, how come what's wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this? That's not right. You know, you should, and blah, blah, blah. And at that point, you have to stand your ground and you have to say, no, I don't have to do anything. What I have to do is stand in my integrity. What I have to do is respect and love myself, you know? So, since I had not responded, I just got a message last night that was pretty abusive and threatening to my cousin, who is a stroke victim. And again, it is, now she's attacking him, basically saying, how dare you, you know, grab your balls and have them call me, or else I will show up there and you won't like it. Now, why is this all happening? Why does this happen? Because she feels like she is losing her drug. Whenever you feel like your source of something you need, see, it is an addiction. And this is what I'm saying. It's an addiction on both sides, for myself and for her. I just, was able to see this pattern and self-heal because I'd been doing so much shadow work and spiritual work. And like I said, I really wanted to heal myself and get free. And so she knows that the addiction, like her drug, is being taken away because I keep holding that boundary. So she's going to do anything she can. And that's why a narcissist, their violence, their rage, their threats will get worse. But you just have to stick true to your boundaries. So what I did is I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not going to hide this behavior. It is not okay, and it's toxic. And it's toxic to everyone involved. And so I sent this message to other people in the family so that they're aware of the threats. And I just sent another boundary message and said, it is not appropriate behavior for you to be calling Angelo and threatening him and, you know, using him as a source of, like as a tactic to get to me. And so I just said, you know, you're not welcome to come here anymore, and please stop harassing us, and thank you for respecting Angelo and his house and the boundaries. And that's it. So it's, again, it is just holding the boundary. Now, you know, I share this only so that you can recognize this in your own life. And when I get to share my story and be vulnerable and open with you, then it heals me and it heals you. It just does. And, you know, that's how it works. You heal and then you get to share to help others heal. So that's my intention. And I hope that if you're going through this, please put in the comments. Let me know what you're going through, because you sharing your story with me helps me. It just makes me feel like I'm not alone, you know? And it can be anyone, you guys. This is, you know, I had a toxic relationship with my dad and with the ex of the father of my two boys, and with my sister. And these relationships don't just have to be partner or like intimate love relationships. They can just be family dynamics. So I think there's a lot of shame in that for me. And that's where this all comes from, why I wanted to hide. And I kept accepting or just saying, you know, well, she's got, you know, cancer. So it was always an excuse why I should allow her to treat me like this, because, you know, I didn't want to interrupt her healing, or it was always an excuse as to her issues or her needs. But see, when you do that, you lose your needs. You lose you. And I absolutely lost me for many years. And today I'm finally standing for me and sharing with you, so open about the shame that's involved with this. And, you know, a lot of the time I thought, well, I'm just not a good enough daughter, or I'm not a good enough sister. So that's why, you know, I'm being treated like this. So maybe if I could do better. What a nightmare. So if you guys have any stories you'd like to share with me, I'd love to hear them. It just helps you to give a couple announcements, because if you do resonate as an empath or a codependent, I have created an energy insight session, and this helps you throughout your journey. I created it for myself as a vital tool to be able to clear the energy that was not mine. See, my problem was I did not know that more than half of the emotions and feelings I had inside of me were not coming from me. I was picking them up from other people around me. And I know that to be true now, because since I've started releasing it all and cutting off these people, those emotions and feelings have been gone. So I created this tool for you to be able to clear your energy, the energies that are not yours, and also to gain insight for your personal healing. I used this tool, and it's a free video for you. I use this tool, so I'll put the link in the description box below. I've done my job right. You should be seeing it on the screen right now, but I'm not sure if I can do my job right. So I also am creating a Facebook group that is going to be called Fired Up and Fearless Empaths, which it's brand new. I wanted to create it as a support group for all of us, to share these stories, because there's such healing in just being able to tell your story in a place that is non-judgmental, where people really understand what you're going through. And so I will also link that in the description box below. And it, like I said, it's just a place to get support and healing through recovering from toxic, unhealthy relationships and attachments. So, thank you so much for watching. If you love this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe. And you can also check out these 2 other videos that have my crazy spiritual concepts. See you next time. Bye.